Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. My name is Hideaki Tonoike, and I'm the policy manager from Japan's Platform Sustainability, which is an officially recognized space to the UN and the national and international process. And thank you for joining, Ms. Park. I would like to few questions. Three questions.
Okay.
And the first question is, since back then, 1992, in our summit, the SDGs have been started to be discussed. And do you think that SDGs that are comprehensive, related to environment, Goal 11, Goal 13, Goal 14, and Goal 15, are comprehensive enough? And also, are these SDGs realistic?
Well, coming from the UNEP perspective, I think environment's actually in a lot more of the SDGs than those you listed. Specifically, SDG 12, Sustainable Consumption and Production, has massive impacts on our environment and what we extract from the earth. Whether they're comprehensive enough, I think, is a very difficult question to answer. Anytime you have a document that's universal, where you want over 190 countries to sign on and agree, there's always going to be some specific context which can't be captured because it's not maybe universal for all the rest of the countries. So I think what the SDGs offer, both for the environment and for all the other ramifications that they offer, is a starting point. So they're really a good guideline, a structure on different things that need to be looked at, and individual countries, individual regions, sub-regions even, might find that there's a gap that they have identified that helps them achieve those targets and achieve those goals, but might not be specifically written into the script of the goal.
Okay, since SDGs have a motto of no one is left behind, so yeah, that's a precisely and clear story. So the second question is, and speaking of the implementation or speaking the engagement or youth engagement, what is the unique quality of youth which makes them a key group in achieving the goal for sustainable development?
There's so many reasons that the youth are absolutely one of the most important stakeholders that we have in achieving the SDGs. The first, which is most obvious, is the SDGs have a 15-year cycle. We call it the 2030 agenda. In 2030, in 15 years, the youth of today will actually be the policymakers. They're the ones that are going to be implementing and ensuring that. In fact, before those 15 years are up, in the next 5 to 10 years, that will start to happen. So we need to make sure we're passing the baton onto the youth now, so that as they enter the next phase in their careers, they're well-versed, well-educated, and understand that their countries have signed on to achieve these goals collectively. The second thing is, of course, I'd like to put myself in this category as well, though technically it might not be true. The youth have a vibrant energy, they have fresh ideas, they're innovative, and because they're at the beginning of their careers, they're able to make decisions now that are still in the formative stage, so they're quite flexible in this way. It's the same reason why development is different in different parts of the world. We're trying to make a difference before it's too late in the developing countries, because in some of the countries, they're quite set in their ways. It's difficult to undo the Industrial Revolution. Same with the youth. If we can influence and help share all the knowledge that we have today about the ramifications socially, politically, economically, and environmentally, of course we are able to make a bigger impact, because you're influencing them while they're very absorbent, while they're sponges.
Okay, so probably this question may overlap. So how to utilize the youth innovation to promote the sustainable development goals? Then third question also cover that. Is there anything like UNEP is specifically doing to involve youth in that project?
I think that's $1 million question. How do we harness this energy from the youth community? If we had it figured out, I think we would have already achieved the goals, because I think the youth are quite upset with the mess that they've inherited from previous generations. That being said, I think everyone's trying different ways to enter into the youth. With UNEP, for example, here in the Asia-Pacific region, we have a project called 4 Billion Dreams. There are 7 billion people on Earth, so there are 7 billion dreams, but 4 billion of those dreams are in the Asia-Pacific region. And for us, we feel like those dreams really influence lifestyle, and we want to talk about sustainable lifestyles. So before we can talk about sustainable lifestyles, we have to have a better idea of
Right.
what's happening here in this region. So that's our youth movement. It's youth powered. We have 30 youth ambassadors from 24 countries in the
Right.
region, and they're each on the ground. They've created action plans. I think the most important thing with empowering youth is first listening. Asking the youth what they think,
Consultation.
because they're not empty vessels. They also have their own thoughts. They also have their own perspective, their own educational background.
Exactly.
So listening is really important. And then the second thing is giving them some mentorship and some support, asking them what they would like to do on the ground and in an organic way with their communities, and then offering them the technical support that as UNEP we have, and offering them more education opportunities to explore other areas that they might feel all they're missing is a little bit more information to be able to make a big change.
Right. Okay, so thank you very much, and
Thank
thank
you.
you for having the constructive
Thank you so
information.
much for your
Thank
time.
You very
Thank you
much.
for asking.